Okay, so I realized that my lack of self discipline, of course, like there's a healthy part of me that chose to navigate my sexuality and my trauma to figure out the root, the essence of certain things, like to capture the patterns, to recognize the patterns, to understand what's going on. And right now I am malnourished, so I realize, okay, it's been this phenomenon. It's been happening for a few years now. So um when I first transitioned into like a health conscious mind frame, it evolved me. I was Christian um for the majority parts of my life. So uh I use a lot of the spiritual practices, hygienic spiritual practices, things that I learned from that religion to navigate. How the hell did this break? To navigate my spiritual journey, like praying, fasting, meditating, song, dance, and other things, right? So, I went on a journey, navigated my journey, and I ended up finding myself more confident, more complete, more whole, more satisfied, more determined, more fulfilled, more present, more aware of the things that contributed to the lifestyle or the life that I had. And I really set out to have the experience that I desired. And it really involved me being intentional about what I was feeling and experiencing and not being afraid to express that or be that because of people around me. Like I was at this particular time, I was so locked into myself, so focused on myself, that I didn't even realize how many enemies or people I had against me, or how many people who had allowed the enemy to use them, and or you could even say God used them. I feel like negative. I'm not saying that the universe is out here just handing me negative experiences to teach me or test me or anything like that, but I really do believe that like circumstance isn't really circumstantial. Like it's just certain things. I just don't believe it's a coincidence. It's coincidental. I don't think it's accident. I think everything is by design, and even the things that are sent to uh distract, upend can also be utilized to um to rewire, to navigate, because think about it, like if you have that negative or that so-called testing experience and then you get out of it and you come across it again, or you have a friend or family, client, anybody who come in contact with that thing, now you have a story, a testimony. Now you have wisdom, knowledge, information that could be used, and you could find a way to express that, when this thing happens, when this comes up, this is how I navigated it. Here are some things that were going on with me. And now you've built this whole thing on people having tools to like like once you already do the work, we have to have trust in if if the if the thoughts are impactful. And the whole point of us using subliminals and subconscious training and all those things is to better our thinking and our mindset and our palate. Then we have to know that that's for a reason, that attunement is for a reason. So trusting that the space we hold in our mind, the space we hold for ourselves in our heart, the healing that we do first within ourselves on our own timeline, within our own life, that doesn't always penetrate or transfer outwardly, is still very much being encoded into the collective consciousness. Like, you are one. And remembering to not separate yourself from that egoically because of seasons of aloneness. I look at aloneness as a house. A house, a gift, a blessing, something you're given that you don't see as protection, a blessing, until after you have it, after you've had it. And I've always, one of the things I've been doing to be more present is to be grateful for the moments that I have, be grateful for the life that I have, be grateful for the experience that I have, be grateful for the opportunities that I do have. Like, yes, there's all this future stuff, but I've already done half of things that people that before me set out to do. So if I've completed dreams of other people, like dreams I didn't really know were mine, I just did it in this lifetime because it made sense for my life trajectory. Like this, some of this stuff came second nature. This is what was needed to do for my, like, I didn't see life any other way. And so realizing that these things that were easy and flow for me were impactful to on a different level to other people lets me know that whatever, because I really, like, I know my purpose and I know my, I feel like I'm very I wouldn't say egoic, but just self, like, I'm at a point where I'm comfortable doing whatever myself told me to do, even if it's the worst decision, because I have to learn. Like, I have to learn from it. It's something I needed to see through. And at first, I was gonna beat myself up for doing this before, like, leaving jobs, just all the lifestyle extremities that I feel like I live. It's like, it could be exhausting having to make these decisions. Just like, people would think I'm making drastic decisions, but all the decisions are being used to make me more comfortable. Being used, like, this is facilitating my groundingness, my ability to maintain being in a space survival mode, really. Now that like I said, I understand what it is. So as I continue to navigate and work a process in a life that gets me out of that energy, like, even now, I've been able to take care of myself and maintain aspects of myself. And I get mad at men for only desiring me sexually or using me sexually, but then that is the thing that I use to get resources when it makes sense for me. I can whore myself, I can pimp myself, I can, like, but it's not like, it's bizarre and overwhelming and disrespectful for the people who, like, that's contradicting. So it's either you are through and through ready for the life you want to live, or you are still running the muck and running and getting through some cycles. And for me, there are some cycles that's I feel like that needs to be cleared, but I also feel like there's also some self imposed. Yeah. Top floor is lonely. Um, being by yourself is lonely. Um, um, and I guess I'm learning to be lonely without the resources. Because I'm like, if I had more resources, more money coming in, um, stability, access to what I needed to live, like I've tried to, this past year I haven't had a car, and I've tried to navigate my life using public transportation, Ubers, the bus even, and it's expensive. And that's relative, of course, because honestly, I don't. If I wanted to do it, it wasn't. I wasn't worried about that too much. But after a while, like sometimes you have to consider your money isn't endless. I mean, of course, that could be a perspective, a mindset shift needed to happen. But where I'm at is where I'm at, and like getting through that is a step-by-step process. I can't fake my way to a different level. I can't pretend all these things. Like, I can get mad 100% at all the men that attracts to me sexually and that wants me sexually. Like, I want me sexually. I love me sexually. I love me more than sexually. I love me so much that I'm okay with other people and myself not loving me at times, because that's how I get through this world. Y'all don't like, I've had to adjust to self-sabotaging coping mechanisms just to exist on the timeline and the frequency and within the energy of people who I no longer resonate with, to people who don't deserve access to me, to make other people feel comfortable, normal, to sometimes not be unalive, because men hate rejection. Like, you can feel how unsafe the situation is becoming. Like, it's draining telling men no repeatedly, feeling the energy of like the audacity that they feel like you have or don't have because you're not interested. Like, 100%, I 100% believe that men shouldn't pursue women. I don't think they should have the right to initiate anything with women. I think that if women desire to be with men, I think it should be on their terms and on their terms alone. Like, I think that I should be invisible to men, and that when I'm desiring to be visible or make and whatever utilized in that way, then absolutely make it plain. But that goes into, like I said, duality of the universe. Is it right for me to utilize and capitalize or you know, I would say, do I have the agency, the autonomy, the natural, what is that, reign? What is it, like, responsibility to govern myself, guard myself, and not willing, just give myself freely and just willy-nilly because a motherfucker is they have a general attraction, or they feel entitled, or they like me. Like, that's not enough. Being sexually attracted to me is not enough. Like, everybody's sexually like I've been raped, molested, incested since early as 5 years old, probably even before then. So, like, you could you could desire the sexual energy of any human being. Everybody possesses a certain level of sexual energy due to being created from sex. Um, and sexual energy not being solely about reproduction and life creating. Well, it's about creation itself, not just physical life. Other things can be manifested and created through sex, and even through attraction and desire. Like, I'm thinking about um like, I want to say sometime between 2019 and 2021 is when I kind of lost my affinity for males. Like, I used to be so male centered, so jigmatized, and still to this day there is some residue, like as far as needing men to be a conduit of my own sexual energy and expression, because I don't have the other part to, hey, do that thing with. But also accepting that you don't necessarily need men to practice your sexual energy, even though there's all these things and concerns and questions and all of that. But one thing that I wanted to do is hold myself accountable that, like, I do believe that women just should have agency and the ability to, like, to, um, to be receptive or not be in a receptive state. Like, they are available, and I think we should have a ability to go offline and on. I think everybody, including men, should have that capacity and space to go on and offline at their will. I think that the differentiating factor for women is that, like, for example, I had a man stop me in the grocery store yesterday, and one of the first few things he said was, I'm busy right now grocery shopping, but I would like to get to know you better. And even though he wasn't necessarily saying that I wasn't busy, because I also was shopping, he was just so focused on his desires and what he wanted. It was like, it, whether he had regard or not for me, there was no regard for if he was making me comfortable, uncomfortable. There was no, like, he was not picking up on the social cues to, like, I'm trying to move away, I'm trying to still shop, I'm minding my business the same like you. Like, I don't get what you're saying that to me for. It's just like there was nothing being registered, because he had whatever he was on. He had his one track mind. He had his agenda. He had what he was trying to do. And regardless if I was interested or not, like, I don't think that's mattered to him. I don't think it matters that women aren't interested. I mean, it matters as far as, like, their ego, but he's going to sleep well. He's going to go home to his wife and kids. And he probably won't ever really think about that exchange with me. He'll try again with the next beautiful woman that he sees in the grocery store. And one of the things that I'm also learning at this age is that I'm very much special and chosen, and the main character, and it's all about me. And at the same time, it's nothing is about me. Very much not. Like, it's like that. You gotta have a balanced perspective, and you can't not see yourself as important and stuff, because then you're just completely run them up. And, like, that's how I've learned to pattern recognize is, like when I was just completely into myself, I didn't have any self-awareness. Like, I didn't realize how many enemies and negative stuff that I was entertaining and had around me. I didn't realize it for the like, how I feel like men don't realize my value and stuff, or my comfortability when they're trying to pursue me or bag me, because they're so infatuated with what they're trying to do. Like, I was so headstrong about the life I wanted to live, the things I wanted to do to a certain degree, that I didn't recognize give space to all of the resistance that I was facing at the time. And that's the part of life that I want to be in again, like, where I'm living and going and going and having experiences that don't Like now it's been a lot of like just sitting, reflecting, meditating, prayer, being able to process all of the things. Before it was like being there was I was so much into it that there wasn't a lot of room to process anything. And so, which was a different level of survival. And so I know I'm reaching I'm reaching a point in my journey that I know that I'm very close to my heaven on earth, my uh, holy manna, just being very much taken care of by the universe and God and myself. Even like there's choices and decisions and things that I'm transitioning into in order to contribute to my betterment. And it's up to me to trust and decide that the decisions and things that I'm involving myself in are going to translate. Somehow my effort wasn't always received by others who made me overwork and overcompensate. But people knew that they could milk that. They knew that if they never made you feel secure, grounded, loved, supported, all the things, that you would continue to do things to be that way. Like, you would figure out ways to make yourself relevant in the lives of people you've surpassed. And you can do that, but it's going to be to your detriment in the end. Because I'm going to be spending so much time processing and talking and venting and just coming up with all kind of crazy things to say, because I have so much that I need to release and get off of me just for releasing's sake. It's not about having a bone to pick, trying to be into it or messy or anything, but it's about articulating energy that has been trapped and stagnant and unmoved for centuries, bloodline after bloodline, generation after generation, because of fear and failure and so much other things. I've already been ostracized. I've already been left out. I've already been like this. I just like, I wish I could just, can I, like, it's weird how I can be self-deprecating to my detriment, but that shit, like, accepting how, like, the way your life went, accepting the truth, the reality, could be healing. It could be transformative if utilized and alchemized and transmuted in a way. Like, woe is me. No, I'm glad it's me. I'm glad it isn't my other sisters. I'm glad it isn't anybody else. That, like, I wouldn't wish, like, unless you want the type of things I want, I don't wish this experience on anybody. My worst enemy. Like, no. But I know that I've prayed for the things that I'm gaining. So I can't even hold, no, I can only hold myself accountable. It is why I want to slow down and get my life together and be honest with myself. Like, if I can't be honest with anybody around me, I could be honest with myself. And I'm not here to fault nobody, because if that's the case, I'm very much at fault myself. I'm very much in blame myself. But again, I have to be honest about where I've been trapped and forced to dwell in stagnancy. I'm emotionally exhausted, detached even. I don't really feel I feel as if I'm so connected. I'm beyond, like, so many the ability to connect on the 3D, that, like, when I do connect with people, I'm only perceived at their level of consciousness. So it doesn't even if they are just the most amazing people, I can't, it's all matrix coded. Like, I can't even really, none of it is genuine. And sometimes it's made me, like, question, like, is this me? Like, I get faking it till you make it. I get protecting your energy, protecting your peace. I know God has a plan for me. I packed to come back home way before time. I didn't know that I was coming here necessarily, but I wasn't resistant. I was open, ready, excited about it. Now that I'm here, I'm discouraged, backpedaling. I just feel so no. And now I'm starting to think I understand witchcraft, because this is the same way it felt. There's, like, sexual entities that I contract with that be either on the prowl or that be promoting me in a way to people, to a certain thing. Because I realize it no matter what, I could be just trying to walk to the store to get some tobacco. Like, I ain't no telling what I'm doing. Just walking a walk. I could be doing anything. And the male is the male gaze, the male energy is going to try to penetrate. And it's all caliber of men. It don't be just one type of men. Maybe because it's different, maybe it is the same type of energy. Maybe it's just in different men, but sometimes they don't always feel like the same energy. So I don't want to say that, but, and I know that, like, certain things don't make or break a person. Like, I haven't always had a lot of material wealth, but I've always been able to sustain myself and I wouldn't even say. I would just say I've always been able to survive and make a way. And cultivate a connection to the divine and spirituality. So I don't think that they're mutually exclusive. Like, I think that really amazing, good people, great people can be in poverty and in unfortunate circumstance, and they have to navigate that journey, that path. Uh, just like really good people, really like really not so amazing people are in good position, and not that they don't deserve it. They deserve it. Like, that is teaching. You don't know what they have to go through to be around a whole bunch. Think about, at your core, being a miserable, negative person, and as a billionaire, millionaire, quadrillionaire, whatever it is, you have to be around genuine people that are like genuinely happy or genuinely, like, that's your own hell. So you don't know what these people are going through to have what they have, or to accomplish, like, what is the trade-off. Maybe they ain't heard from God ever in years. They ain't never felt connected in their body. Whereas, even though haven't had more than $10,000 at one time, like, I don't, like, realistically, I just haven't held. I haven't seen it in my account, and I haven't held it in my hand. I have definitely made it time over time over time over. Every year I make that, but even in the years that I wasn't working, no money, no jobs coming in, yeah, that's touched. But I would like to hold on to material wealth, not from a hoarding, not from a it's not gonna go nowhere, or, but like, we need to build this for generations to come. This, like, let's be going through the stuff we going through rich. Like, we're gonna have the type of problem we dealing with. Okay, let's have the money to facilitate the healing needed, like therapy. Like, I got a lot of sexual trauma. Okay, I got a lot of abandonment, nurturement issues, mother wounds, father wounds, sibling wounds, people relationship wounds, which really correlates. Like, it's my resonance with the human experience, like, as a spiritual being. Like, I don't expect a lot from other people, because I'm still trying to ground. I'm still trying to, like, get a hold of my ship. I'm still trying to, like, steer my ship. I can't focus on those things no more. Like, there was a point that I was so in it that, yes, I was in overtime. Like, I was just contributing. I was able to do myself, everybody else, and I got knocked off the post, because not only wasn't my responsibility, but I wasn't. It's not your job, your role, when you're not valued for it. Like, it's taken for granted. It's seen as miraculous, but not valued as it. Like, they know that this isn't normal shit on a daily, but they ain't gonna process it as the miracle or God provided experience that it is because of the person it came from. Like, dang, she delivered this blessing? Nah. Whereas me, I don't care who or what it is. Everything is a blessing, a lesson, an opportunity. Which is why I'm so like emotionally, like, it's crazy how oftentimes when I feel nothing, it's because I'm feeling everything. And I have to be careful and I have to be honest and open with myself, vulnerable with myself. Because for just the last week alone, I've been giving my energy to people, places, things, and it's not a return in investment. And like, energy transfer. So no matter, like, casting your pearls to swine is still a transference, and you're gonna get that get back. Like, that's just what that is. You gotta follow up. And I don't like it. Like, I feel like I renege a lot. Like, I'll go into something thinking like it could be, like, I'm always open minded. Like, I have this, like, I'm so dumb. Like, believe it did get played. Like, and royally played. Like, it'd be like, I'd be acting a certain way, y'all, and it'll be working. But it'll be like so abnormal to me. And then I'll switch it up because I'm finding like I'm actually cool. And then it's switched on me, and it's just this back and forth. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be playing this type of Tetris. Like, I will say this though, men who desire me sexually and mostly sexually lustfully could never make me feel bad for my standard and them accessing that. And lately, I just I get horny because it's a natural, like, human experience, but I don't be on that type of shit. Like, I'll please myself all day before I go being around a nigga face, because I desire intimacy, true connection, and like, I don't like to be left after sex. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not leaving you, and I'm not leaving me. Like, this is a divine coochie. I don't know how many times I have to say that. It's not even about the physical aspect of it. Like, this shit is not something to be playing with like that. And I'm physically, mentally, like, my life is a show of that. Like, rather it looks chaotic to people, rather it looks like I'm insane, rather it looks like I'm a mental patient, rather it looks like I'm just a wild, whatever it looks, I can't really step into what people perceive or how people perceive. I know what it feel like when I step into certain rooms and spaces, and it's like, is there something on my face? But I know what it feels like to be devoured or look like a piece of meat, to be undressed, and not just from men. Like, I feel like um, the veil, the trick, and all this is like women denying their capacity and their depth for vengeance and um, the violence that we claim men possess and are. Which, no, let me stop, because I don't want to gaslight myself or others. Men are very and can be very violent, and women can be violent as well, and these are not equal, and they're not. One isn't necessarily, women's violence isn't less of violent because it's like, no, like there's a lot of nuance. But knowing some of my thoughts, and like I think that that's the biggest difference between women and men. Men, like, it's night and day. Like, once it's like, it's like the feeling, the fit, like, I can't really describe it. Men don't, men aren't shown, or I wouldn't even say shown, but they are like groomed into this reactionary kind of processing of their emotions. So the second it's in their mind, they've already acted on like whatever their like coping style is. So um when some people feel violated, it could be learned behavior from as a child. um you know, when you was hitting people when you was a young kid, little babies, hitting their parents, hitting their siblings, hitting cousins, hitting other kids, um, not being held responsible or accountable for those actions, then getting whoopings. So you did something wrong. The only way to learn the lesson, regardless of what the hell you're trying to get, whoopings don't learn shit, because you only equate, I did something wrong, I did something that caused this, so cause and effect. um so now when we grow up, there's this, when I'm violated, when I'm, whatever emotion it is that isn't what I want to be feeling, I gotta show the motherfucker, reprimand the motherfucker who is causing this, because they need to get in line, they need to get in check, they need to um and there's give and take to that, because I feel like it's primal to be like if like physical, sometimes being physical is your only defense for the spiritual attacks or unseen attacks. um like, you may be physically beating the human, but it may be at the fault of their entities and spirit beings that's attached to them that got them doing all the type of things. Nonetheless, we already know how society feels about beating a bitch ass, beating it, like, you already know how the violent stuff. So it's very difficult, because it's not that women don't experience the emotions, it's just we don't often respond in them. And for me, I can't, like, I don't anymore, but in my earlier time, I used to fight, I used to be very I didn't hold on to anything. Like, my attitude was very bad, uh, moody. I had my emotions on my sleeves. Like, I was very expressive. Like, you pissed me off, you made me mad, you said something. I didn't give a fuck about showing it because I'm not holding it in me. So that's why I feel like, to a certain degree, that's a protection. That's a form of defense when you like, motherfuckers can't pop up at the side of the mouth. Like, they can, but it's not without consequences. The motherfucker gonna think about twice before they do it again. And if they do it again, then you know this is what type of time they on. That's what they want. They want that smoke. But I don't know. I was conditioned into just suppressing and suppressing and suppressing. And I realized that some of this lack of confrontation, lack of expression has bred my resentment. Bred me holding on to things that I want to let go. I want to release things I need to release. I desire to let go, release. Things. When I realize, like, when I say healing isn't linear, it's that it comes in waves. Oh my God, there are times when you are completely, like, you feel like you are emptied from a situation or about a thing. Then one trigger is like, dang, I still got that wound. I still got that soft spot, huh? I still need more nurturing. Like, I think we're meant to, like, that human experience is a sign of the collective nurturement and of community and self that needs to be, like, you. Of course, we should all be at an individual level capable of taking care of ourselves, and of course different things go into that or not. But then after that, there should be, like, a collective level of care going on, community care, that nobody is at deficit. Like, when you can't care for yourself, then there is community and people who would genuinely, like, have your well-being in mind and care about you, and support you, rather it's just until you get back up, or it's that's becomes their role as, like, career wise, or like a caregiver, and etc. Like, I feel like it's revealing that there's a need for consistent nurturement, no matter how self-soothed or soothed life's, whatever soothing you, no matter how coddled you are in something. There are other spaces that may still need to be licked from time to time, and there, I guess, shouldn't be any shame in that. And for me, for a long time, I have a lot of shame, and I want to talk about that shame.